Right, hello everyone and welcome to this new video on the channel. So today we're going to be looking at the championship for my predictions for the 24-25 season. Really excited to predict these. It should be an interesting year for the championship. So without further ado, let's get into the predictions. Okay, so just like I've done for all my other prediction videos, which you can check out on the 24-25 predictions playlist in my channel, we're going to be going from bottom to top, so starting with 24th and making our way up to first. So we're going to start with the relegation zone first. So I think this is going to be kind of 3 from 4 teams. I think these 4 are going to be a bit adrift of the rest of the teams. So starting at the bottom then, in 24th place, I have gone for Plymouth Argyle. Now, I haven't just gone for this because of Wayne Rooney. I don't think he's actually, in my opinion, I don't think he's as bad as a lot of people make him out to be. At Derby, he had some tough circumstances. Birmingham, yeah, that was a bit of a car crash and it's put a big dent in, you know, his reputation. But the main reason is just the end, how Plymouth ended last season, especially. They were very lucky not to go down. And like I say, Schumacher going to Stoke, they got Foster in, and that just didn't work from the start, to be fair. And yeah, it's a good job they had a good start, or they really could have been in danger of, you know, probably would have gone down if they didn't have such a good start. And another thing, we've made Home Park an absolute fortress. We just didn't lose there, but since about Christmas time, that had just gone, and the form really dropped at the end of the season. Pretty much all the fans were saying they're going down, and if they just managed to survive, they'll definitely be going down the season after. Yeah, I just think we're going to struggle. I don't think Rooney is the answer, although I do think he'll do better than he did at Birmingham, but not much better. So yeah, that's why I've gone for Plymouth in last place. And coming second bottom in 23rd, I've gone for Blackburn Rovers. Chaos, that is the one word I would use to describe Blackburn. Obviously, the Venkies are in court with a court case going on at the minute. Obviously, Gallagher has gone to Stoke. Sammy Smodic, I just can't see him staying, if I'm being honest with you. So yeah, that is pretty much all the goals gone out of the team, which is a team that only just survived last season as well. I just think we're so much behind the scenes. There's a lot of negativity at the club as well. I just can't see him surviving. I just think it's going to be a bit of a car crash season, and they're going to be playing League One football the season after. And the final team that I've got going down, I've gone for Oxford United. I think they'll be battling to the end, to be fair, with the team who was just finishing above the relegation zone. But I do ultimately think they just won't be good enough, just not good enough. Like I said, I think out of the 3 teams that's come up, they've done the best business so far, but they have lost a few players as well. Of course, here in the playoffs, Murphy is no longer at the club. And yeah, I just don't think we're going to be strong enough. I think they'll give it a good go. I think they'll fight all the way till the end. But ultimately, I think they are going to get relegated. In 21st place and just surviving, I've gone for Derby County. A bit of a weird one with Derby. Obviously, Paul Warne, he is a master of getting out of League One, and he's also a master of getting out of the Championship, just in the other direction. However, he is at a team in Derby County who's a bit different to Rotherham. They'll have a bigger budget. With Rotherham, it's kind of, you know, they're just trying to get 21st every season, you kind of feel like, whereas Derby, they'll want to push on a bit. So, you know, if he's given a bit more money, will he be able to do a better job with Derby? But I think they do need to make some signs, to be fair. I think the squad overall might not just be good enough, but, you know, I think it's going to be enough to survive, but only just above the 3 teams that I mentioned earlier. In 20th place, this position has been really hard. I've flip-flopped with quite a few teams here, but in the end, I've gone with Portsmouth. I think they'll do the best out of the teams that came up, and they could even finish a bit higher, to be honest with you. This has been a bit conservative with Portsmouth. It won't surprise me if they do finish higher, but I've got them in 20th at the minute. I do like the manager, Massinho, and I think they've got a decent squad as well, but it is a tough league. Coming from League One to the Championship is a massive jump, and I hope they do well, because, you know, the Championship with Portsmouth in it is a lot better division. So yeah, I hope we have a good season, and I think they will survive pretty comfortably. In 19th, I've gone for Watford. I think there's going to be a bit of a big fall off with Watford this year. I hope Tom Cleverley does well, because I do like him, and I hope he does well as a manager, but I just don't see it working with Watford's system. I think he'll be gone by October, probably. He'll be looking to make Christmas, unfortunately. But yeah, I just feel like, you know, the parachute money's gone. You know, I just don't really see what Watford's strategy is. Seems to be kind of, trying to yo-yo between the Prem and Championship most years, but they've kind of fell off that a bit, and the Championship is a lot stronger now. And yeah, I just feel like it's going to be a big drop-off for Watford, and they're going to find themselves a lot lower down the table. In 18th place, I've gone for another team having a big drop-off, and that is Hull City. Sacking Rossini, like I say, he just missed out on the playoffs. Looking at it, it seemed a pretty bizarre decision, but they did spend a lot of money on loans that year, and they're not going to have them players there next season, and they have lost a lot of others as well, like Greaves and a few others going. So it's going to be a tough rebuilding year for Hull. I'll be honest, I don't like going off pre-season friendlies, but I watched them play us, and they mainly had the under-21s on, and then they brought them on like for the last half an hour. We beat them 4-0, and even when we brought the first team on, I didn't think they looked great. They looked better, but still not great. I think it's going to be a rebuilding year for Hull. I think we just should have stuck with Rossini. And this is going to be a tough ask for Hull. They've got to rebuild the squad and try and build themselves back up. I don't think they'll be in any trouble of going down, but I don't think they're going to do much in terms of trying to get to the playoffs either. In 17th, I've gone for Swansea City. I like the manager. I don't know. I just don't see this squad doing much more than 17th, to be honest with you. I think the teams around them are stronger. And, yeah, I just see them kind of, not in any trouble, but nowhere near the playoffs either. I just see them kind of being there in 17th, to be honest with you. 16th place, I've gone for Stoke City once again. I think they'll have a similar year to last year, but I think they'll be... I don't think they'll be as much trouble of dropping down as they were last season. They've signed Gallagher from Blackburn, which is a really good signing, and also Victor Johansson from Rotherham. That is a superb signing. And yeah, they're a pretty standard bottom half Championship side, to be fair to them. Obviously, Schumacher is at the wheel. Be interesting how he does with a full season at Stoke. Yeah, I can see him kind of finishing around the same last year, but I think they'll be a lot more comfy in terms of, fighting for relegation than they were last season. In 15th, I've gone for Preston North End. They're always kind of, in the middle of the Championship, not really pushing the playoffs too much, but in no danger of going down. And I think it'll be the same this season, to be fair. We've lost the best player to Sunderland. So, yeah, they've pretty much got the same squad, minus the best player. So, I'm expecting him to fall a couple of places, but not too much, to be honest with you. In 14th, I've gone for Bristol City. It's Bristol City. They finished in the middle of the Championship. Never in any danger of going down, never threatening the playoffs, but just there. Standard Bristol City. Another 14th. For Bristol City. But in all honesty, Liam Manning is a good manager, and I think he'll want to push this team onwards. Whether this is the season to do it or not, I'm not too sure. Might be, the season after. But I think they'll have another mid-table season. And in 13th, I've gone for Cardiff City. Tough to pick where to put Cardiff, to be fair. They could be challenging for playoffs, it could be down, near, not in the relegation zone, but just above it. I'm not too sure. I'm going to stick them around 13th, though. I think they'll do all right. They've got some decent players at Cardiff. And yeah, I think they had a lot better season than I thought they did last year, and I think they're going to do similar this season. Moving into the top half then, and in 12th place, I've gone for Sunderland. Another hard team to predict. So when I originally made my draft for the Championship about a month ago, I had him quite low down, about 18th, to be fair, but we have signed some good players. They've got a young squad for the future. They've got some very good players, especially the likes of Jack Clark and players like that. They've got a manager in that I don't have a clue about, but he's highly rated. Let's see what he's about. The main reason I had him lower down earlier were just because of the ownership. Things looked a bit chaotic at Sunderland, to be honest with you, but they're making some good signings, signing some good young players. And yeah, I think they'll have a better year than last year now that I've looked at it a bit more. I think they're kind of building for the future a bit. I think they'll be a very good team in a few years, but I think, this is the start of it this year. In 11th, I've gone for QPR. I think they'll have a decent year this year, QPR. Obviously, they were really struggling under Ainsworth last year, and then they brought a new manager in, and they skyrocketed up the table, finishing the season with 3 wins in a row in great form. And they're not a bad team, to be fair, and I think, like I say, they're playing some good football at the minute. I watched them at Leicester, and they looked pretty good in my opinion. So, yeah, I think they'll have a lot better year. I don't think there'll be any trouble of going down, and if they can start like they finished last year, they'll be top half easily. In 10th place, another team who I think are going to have a lot better season this year. I've gone for Sheffield Wednesday. I think, giving Danny Roll a full year, not as many problems as he had at the start of last season. I think he's a superb coach. Like I say, the toughest thing is going to be holding on to him, because you can imagine, like a German club or someone in Premier or maybe even a higher up Championship club gets rid of their manager. He'll be one of the first names that a lot of people are going for. But if he stays, I think he'll do a superb job with Wednesday and have him jumping 10 places from last season. Like I say, they've strengthened the squad as well. And yeah, I think it's going to be a positive year for Wednesday. In 9th, probably one of my more surprising picks of the video, I have gone for Millwall. I think we're going to have a good year. Neil Harris is back, and like I say, I made him a very solid and hard to beat team last time he was at Millwall. And I think he'll do the same again. Like I say, he came in, they were in a bit of trouble, and he got on well clear of the relegation, finishing in 13th place. He's brought McCoy Longstaff in. That's going to be an interesting one to see how he adapts, because obviously he's been used to it in the National League North, National League and League 2, where he's got back-to-back top scorers, but obviously he's making a big step up to the Championship. I think he'll do well, maybe not hitting the same as he hit for Gateshead and Notts County, but he'll still do well. And yeah, I think we're going to be a solid team. I think we're going to be hard to beat. Probably not the best football to watch, to be honest with you, but it's typical Millwall. I think they'll do a good job and have a better season this year. In 8th place, I've gone for Norwich City. I think it's going to be a bit harder for Norwich to get into that top 6 this year. I think it's going to be a very competitive one. So yeah, I think they're going to be one of the 2 teams that miss out, because I've kind of got 2nd to 8. That could be in, that could be in any order, to be fair. Just depends. It's going to be very close, I think, between them 7 teams, sorry. But yeah, I think Norwich are just going to miss out. There's a few question marks and a few players going as well. Ben Gibson has already gone. Obviously, got a new manager in, so yeah, I think it's going to be more of a transition year for Norwich, in my opinion. I think there's going to be a few changes at the club. It's going to be a bit of a rebuild, but like I say, that might be a good thing for seasons to come in the future. But I think it's going to have to be like maybe 1 step back this year to go 2 steps forward the year after. And in 7th place, just missing out on the playoffs, I've gone for Sheffield United. And to be honest, this could be lower. Main reason I've got them here is I had them in the playoffs for a lot of my drafts, and I swapped them out at the last minute. So if I'm being truly honest, it won't surprise me at all if they do finish lower, and even lower than Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, like I say, Wilder is the manager. He did really well with him before, but I feel like it's not the same Chris Wilder as a few years ago when he was in his first spell. And yeah, I just don't think the squad's strong enough. They're going to be starting on a minus points. We obviously had a bad end to last year, and they've got to start on a minus, so the momentum's going to be low as it is. I think we're going to have a very poor start. I think the form will improve probably as the season goes on, whether that is with Wilder or not, I don't know. But yeah, I think they'll be better at the end of the season than at the start of the season, and I think they will miss out on the playoffs. Okay, moving into the business end of the table, the top 6 then. So in 6th place, I have gone for West Brom. And the main reason for this is the manager, to be honest with you, Carlos Corbhau. He is a superb manager. He should be, I'm surprised he's not managing in Prem, to be fair. And yeah, I don't think the squad is absolutely fantastic, but I think he is a fantastic manager, and he seems to know how to get the best out of that squad. Last season, with him finishing in 5th place. I do think they'll drop 1 place this year, but I do think they will be back in the playoffs. In 5th place, I've gone for Middlesbrough. A very, very solid squad. I think they could even finish higher than this. Michael Carrick, I am glad they have stuck with him, because I think he's building something really good with Middlesbrough, and I think they'll carry this on. I mean, we played them in a pre-season friendly. They beat us 5-3, and I thought they looked absolutely superb. They've still got a few weak spots, I'd say. I feel like the left-hand side isn't as strong as the right-hand side, but overall it is a very, very strong team for this level, and I think they'll have a good year and get back into the playoffs. 4th place, I'm going for Coventry City. I think it's going to be a good year for Coventry this year, to be honest with you. I think they're really going to push the top 3 all the way, and yeah, they've got some good players in there. They're a very, very strong team. Great manager, Mark Robbins, has been there since the League 2 days. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a good year. I think maybe we've got distracted by the FA Cup a bit last season. Obviously, we got to the semi-final and probably should have beat Man U if it weren't for VAR. But yeah, I'm not saying I don't want them to have a cup run, but maybe, like I say, if they get knocked out early in the cups and really put over focus into the league, I think they'll be really, really strong this season. Just missing out on automatic send in third place, I've gone for Luton Town. Now, Luton have got a very good squad for the Championship. It's just a shame they couldn't have kept hold of Ross Barkley, or they probably have had him in second. But it's a very good squad. A lot of people have said they've not really bought. But to be honest, they did all the business the summer before, and in January, they've kind of, a lot did say as well, they've kind of bought for the season after. And to be fair, it's probably going to work because they've got a very, very good Championship squad. You know, the front line are going to get goals. You know, they're pretty solid all the way through the team. Got a great Championship manager in Rob Edwards as well. And yeah, I think it is going to be a very strong season for Luton. And I think the Kenilworth Road is going to be a bit of a fortress, to be honest. Into the top two then, going back to the Premier League without the playoffs. In second place, I have gone for Burnley. It's a bit of a tough one, this, because I can't see how it's shining about the squad, but Scott Parker knows how to, you know, get teams over the line. It might not be pretty, they might not look absolutely superb, but they know how to get the job done. And I think, you know, it's a decent squad. They've been here before. They obviously won it 2 years ago. And yeah, I think Scott Parker is going to get doing just enough, in my opinion. I think they'll probably grind out results and they'll get themselves over the line and have a second place finish. And in first place, it pains me to say this, I can't see anyone else other than Leeds United. I think we're going to absolutely storm this league. They are a standout team to me. They have got, you know, such a good squad. I do rate Daniel Farke as a manager as well, but the squad is so strong. And it just stands out from all the other teams, to be honest with you. I don't really need to even go into detail on it. Even though we have lost Somerville to West Ham, I still think, like I say, they've got squad depth in abundance. They've got such a good team, and yeah, unfortunately, I can't see anyone else other than Leeds United winning this league. So there we go then, that is my full Championship prediction. So I'm going to put the table just at the side of me here so you can see the full table as it is. So yeah, that is the Championship done and dusted. So let me know in the comments who's going up automatically, who's finishing in the playoffs, who's getting relegated. Also, where is your team going to finish if they're in the Championship? And who's your dark horse for this season? Mine is Millwall. But yeah, anyway, that is the Championship done. Just for Premier League to go. If you want to watch all the other predictions, I'll put a playlist just above my head somewhere here. So go and check them out if you haven't already. But as for this video, I'm going to leave it here. So thank you very much for watching. If you're new around here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Whether you're an old or new viewer, any support makes a big difference. Also, remember to follow my social media at Adam Gittings PT. So until the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.